everybody, it's Matt with Ask a Prosthetist. Today we are going to be talking about a subject that always weighs a bit heavy on my heart, and that is the hardest thing about being a prosthetist. And the hardest thing about being a prosthetist is losing a patient to death. It's not something that we typically talk about because I'm sure, like myself, there are a lot of practitioners out there who try to tough it out and kind of be the macho guy and be like, oh, I'm sorry that so-and-so died. That's tragic. Outwardly, I'm sure we seem cold and callous, but inward, I'm sure we're all feeling the same loss and the same emptiness that comes with death in some cases, most cases. I distinctly remember when I was working on a transfemoral patient, which is above the knee, many years ago, and I had fit this gentleman in a check socket, and he was happy as a clam. He was so excited to get it. And this is the kind of patient that, comes back routinely for maintenance, things like this, checkups. And he and I had developed a really good patient relationship where, we'd sit and we'd talk about guns or talk about his time in the military, I think it was for him, and just generally an enjoyable patient to be around. So I get this guy's prosthesis finished, completely done, ready to go. And it's got this awesome laminated pattern on there that has a bunch of stars on it, but inside the stars is the pattern of the American flag. I mean, super patriot here. It was awesome. And I called him on Friday to set up a Monday appointment to deliver. Well, Monday comes and the patient doesn't show up, which is not normal for him. And so I called, and his wife said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think to tell you that he died on Saturday. And it was like a gut punch. It really was, because I so badly wanted him to get his leg and walk around and just be the happy guy I knew he was, and to know that he would never wear that leg and would never feel that freedom. That was a bad one. That one hurt a lot. So, and over the years, you start to have patients pass away. There was another one, same clinic that I worked with, and I worked with him when he was a BK, below the knee amputee, an AK, above the knee. And I had worked with him the whole time. I'd seen him through a lot of things, because people don't realize it, but oftentimes we as practitioners aren't just practitioners of physical medicine. We also have to be counselors a lot of the time. And when this poor guy went from being a below the knee to an above the knee, I was like, hey man, attitude's everything. I know you can do this. I know you can be successful. You know you can be successful. You just got to work hard and believe in yourself. And he did really well up until he got liver cancer, which I guess was hereditary in his family. And I remember when he told me, I had to force myself not to have a reaction, not to seem shocked or horrified by it because cancer's a horrible thing. And so at the height of the pandemic, I was treating him, and he got to meet Sergio, which made him super happy. Big dog lover. It was another thing where I saw him on a Friday. He didn't look really well. He was kind of pale and just off. Didn't seem like he was all there. And the next Monday I got the call that he had died. And I'm kind of sharing this as kind of a self-therapy, I'm not gonna lie. It helps to kind of get these things out a little bit. But I had yet another one where before I went out for neck surgery, I was working on an older woman who had gone to a prosthetics business that's nationwide that I'm not a fan of. And they didn't treat her well, so she came to our clinic. And I started building her a prosthesis. And I got it to the check socket point, which is a clear plastic socket. It's kind of like a practice socket that you test the fit, make sure they're comfortable. I didn't get to do the check socket because I went out for surgery. Unfortunately, I had to have my neck fused a second time. And so I was out for a month because of COVID and getting furloughed basically for a month. And I get back and I'm going through things trying to catch up, and I see our box of prosthetic gear, and it had a very familiar looking socket in it along with a foot and all the other componentry that would go with it. And I said, wait a minute, I know this equipment, I know the shape of that leg. And I went to my my then partner Dave, great guy, I love Dave, and I said, hey Dave, do you know the story with this one? Did it not fit? Was she unhappy with it? He said, oh man, I forgot to tell you, dude. She got the leg and said it was awesome, and she was so happy and she was so thankful. And then 2 weeks later, her husband brought it in because she passed away in her sleep. And he came because he wanted to tell us that she was so touched that we took such good care of her, and that we really listened to her, and that we cared, and that her leg finally didn't hurt, and she got to walk pain-free one more time before she died. So, death is a really hard thing to deal with as a practitioner, because we develop relationships with people where not only are we fixing their body, but a lot of times we're fixing their mind. And to know that that relationship is gone. I mean, these are people you've laughed with, people you've cried with, people you've almost become a part of their family. They know you so well. And then you get the phone call, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Anyways, that's what I had for you today on Ask a Prosthetist. As always, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love hearing from people. And if you ever have a question for me, please send an email to askaprosthetist gmail.com. God bless. Take care.